Hello, everyone, and welcome to what could be assumed as episode 1 and or just a preview, your choice, of what if Izuku had the capabilities of mahoraga. Let us get into it, shall we? Whew. I will say it does feel good to be back. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a vigilante story or not. Haven't made up my mind yet. After all, you guys should know me. I am very partial to vigilante stories and villain stories. If you can't tell, this is not a hero channel. Granted, they do show up from time to time, but not usually. Not completely. Because you don't need to be a hero to link everything together. So that's the point. Huh. I guess this weirdness would, start early, right? Because I forgot if mutants come out the way they look or they change accordingly. I think they come out that way. But wait, no, I don't think that's it. Yeah, no, that's not it. I just remembered that. Wasn't there like an entire thing about that where it depended on what happened? Anyway, yeah, let's get properly into it. I'm gonna say Izuku still got his quirk early because there's a lot to go over. By the way, yes, he will have the chakra wheel. I thought I put it on Do Not Disturb. Yep, this is Soundwave. So professional, I know. You love me for my professionalism. Sure as shit isn't because my lack of common sense. Nope. Or the amount of bloopers. Anyway. Mahoraga, also known as Izuku. Age, I'm gonna say 3. Because it's a year early, gives him a bit of a jump. He wouldn't just wake up with these. I'm gonna say, like, on his 3rd birthday, Inko would start to notice he is getting paler. And, Izuku would notice that his hair is falling out in the shower. So, like Inko Midoriya would, she would take Izuku to the doctor. And the doctor would say that the Quirk gene of Izuku, for all intents and purposes, is spiking, which is causing a incredible amount of stress on the body. So Izuku's going to be hungry. Izuku's a small kid, right? He's been kind of small for a bit. The doctor expects him to grow and be hungry. So get him stuff a growing boy would need. Essentially, feed him, watch him. Any radical changes starts happening, come back. Which is as expected. You know, it's going, it's going. Izuku one day wakes up. Everything feels fine, it looks fine. He scratches his head. I'm gonna say this is like 2-3 weeks. Izuku at this point is bald. And there is slowly a fin-esque thing growing on his back that he doesn't really know what it is on the back of his head, but he doesn't care. But regardless, he feels stronger. Right? He's already accidentally broke his doorknob on multiple occasions, but he's reeling it in very well for his age. Really good. When he walked out to say good morning to his mother, she flipped shit. Because where Izuku's eyes would be, there are just now the equivalency of baby chicken wings, essentially. So they would go to the doctor again. It would be confirmed that this is indeed part of the quirk. Izuku is not blind. Thank God. However, Izuku was incredibly self-conscious of this. But he digressed. Let's say Izuku was like 3 feet, 2 feet tall. Like nothing big. Like 2 feet and some change, right? After all, he was young. He has been growing exponentially, so like instead of like, what he would usually be, something like 3-4 foot, like not even, you know what I mean? He just borderline, and what I mean by borderline, I mean like borderline doubles in size. So like he was like, let's say 2-3 foot, he's now 6. And that's like overnight again. She gets him new clothes. And Ingo, at this point, starting to feel a bit overwhelmed with the kid. But Ingo is an amazing mother. So she perseveres regardless of the how weird it is to have a 6-foot tall thing with eyeball wings and a burgeoning tail on the back of its head just kinda cuddle you at night because, and I quote, had a fucking nightmare. But Izuku is a good kid. She was worried when, he made a fist at the table and a sword popped out, stabbing through the table. Once again, went to the doctor, had that checked, made sure he was okay, got a new table. Pretty interesting stuff. Now, to say that Inko is being supportive in this is an understatement. She's doing what she can. She's trying so fucking hard. But, like, her son is taller than her, and he's 3, going on 4. She doesn't know how big he's going to get. but he's going to get there. Some time would pass. One thing would not change. Izuku's infatuation with heroes would be there. I'm gonna say when he's 4. Like, actually just 4. At this point, he's, for all intents and purposes, been homeschooled. Katsuki is still allowed to come around and play. But, like, Katsuki's mildly freaked out sometimes. But it's fine. Izuku does notice. It does mess with him. Oh god, it messes with him. Because him and Katsuki wanted to be heroes. However, Katsuki rose out of it. Because, when you know Katsuki. Everyone here knows Katsuki. He's too stubborn to be afraid for more than, 15-20 minutes. Would he talk smack to Izuku's face? No, because Katsuki, when he was a child, was fairly intelligent. He over-exaggerated, don't get it twisted, but he had fear for someone. I ain't gonna talk smack to their face. Behind their back, though. Hey. So essentially, Izuku kinda behind his back, Katsuki unknowingly, basically, well, kind of knowingly, but didn't know how far this would reach, made Izuku out to be kinda mythical, right? Because Izuku didn't leave the house much. People stared at him. That shit made him uncomfortable. But to say that Izuku's dream died isn't not. It's just not right. So at the age of 10, yes, we're doing a lot of time skips. Izuku would go back to school. Now, the first time Izuku came into class, Izuku naturally put on muscle. And you're like, what do you mean naturally put on muscle? I'm like, okay, let me explain this. His body force evolved him to peak 6-year-old at at 3. And he's only been getting stronger with his growth. His bone density is increased. His muscles have also increased due to the bone density because they still need to move those around. And it's essentially a cycle. Izuku realized that his fin tendril tail on the back of his head was prehensile and very sensitive. He also realized after a doctor's visit before he was 10, about at 8, that is an extension of his brain. And blunt things don't really hurt him that much anymore after that. You know, the common tragedy of stubbing your toe caused about after 10-15 seconds. Click. The ring would turn. Okay. So, let me explain how Izuku's thing is going to work. he has to be hit by something equivalent power for him to adapt to it. So let's say he stubs his toe. He is not immune to all blunt attacks. However, he is immune to all blunt attacks at that level. Right? So anything putting enough force to, mess up your toe isn't going to hurt you. But being hit by a vehicle would. You know what I mean? If he takes damage and he is able to survive for 10 seconds, and his body is able to bounce back from it, he will be fine. Which means, lo and behold, if X or Y happens, Z would be exponential, right? So let's say he was punched by All Might. He would be immune to All Might level attacks from below if he survived for 10 seconds. Now, the amount of things that he can be immune to, or borderline immune to, is high. How high? 6 things at a time. And he could choose when to get rid of one to replace it for something else. Now, let's say he gets punched in the face and he was using the stubbed toe analogy. That won't kill him. So he's going to adapt to anything blunt, that is, punch you in the face level from a regular ass human. And then there's strength quirk users, fucking other things to add on to that. Izuku is going to be strong. And Izuku does want to be a hero. But people are afraid of Izuku. And Katsuki doesn't want to lose face. Because that's kind of what happens when you stand next to the very grotesque mutant. Because it's not like Izuku's good to look at. He isn't. He really isn't. As of this point in his life. He is a tall, lanky, mildly muscular person. That no matter what, he can't not really shut his stuff off. He doesn't have things like frantic strength, but he is hyper intelligent because of the amount of brain he has in comparison to others. How would I explain this? The amount of activated neurons that he has is the equivalency of Nezu's. The only difference is Izuku doesn't believe he has that type of intelligence, which kneecaps the shit out of him. Now, Izuku could grasp concepts very easily and pick up concepts faster. Right? But he just doesn't believe himself to be the intelligent type of that nature. Right? Because there's a difference between, like, being smart and, being Nezu. Borderline present in all conversation. And yes, I'm drinking coffee. It is, like, about to be 10 o'clock where over here in Portland, Oregon. So cry about it. But yeah. Going forward through that nature, Izuku is borderline ostracized. Like, people respect Izuku for his strength in the school that he is in because he is still in Aldera, but man, no one fucking wants to fuck with Izuku. Nobody. And Izuku does stick up for the small guy. So, Izuku, for all intensive purposes, ended up becoming almost this people started seeing him as this Shinto figure in school. Because this one kid called him mahoraga. Downright devious. And it just kind of stuck. Because Izuku liked the ring to it, but he didn't really know. He looked it up. Anthropomorphic beings. There was a story of how the Shinto god of lightning got one drunk and killed it. Mind you, this one was spanned over mountains and, borderline kissed the ocean with his tail and tip, but you get what I mean. Izuku makes it, to Izuku it makes sense. He's bigger than life. He's bigger than everyone in his age group. And some people above. And he is a protector to everyone. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. He likes helping people. Regardless of time or expedience. That's what he wants to do. He wants to help people. But he also wants an equality. Because it's not there. Right? He feels it and he knows it's different. People talk to him different. Because he's scary looking. And he understands that. But it still hurts. He's not about to disfigure himself for someone else. That Izuku has realized, god damn, he does not look good smiling. He looks intimidating as shit. He looks like he's going to hurt someone. He looks like he's going to ask for your firstborn and their next of kin. Because Jesus. He does realize something, though. He can use that in hero work. And that does get him a bit giddy. If it wasn't for his mother, he would not be thinking in that manner, by the way. Inko, W parent. Anyway. Moving forward. Going through the intricacies of Izuku's life. He wants equality for mutants because it's not there. He wants to be a hero and help people. But as you all know, stories could take dark turns. And I leave it to you in the comments. Villain, vigilante, hero. Pick now and forever hold your peace. As everyone here already knows, I listen to my comments on this channel and I read them uncomfortably. I don't read all of them. I do more skimming than reading, but that's because I'm lazy. But with the amount of viewership, I could read. After all, boredom hits. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. In Portland, it's finally starting to cool down. You don't need to bundle up, but you don't need to stay too cool either. If for those in Oregon, go to your Dutch brothers, grab yourself a nice cool shark rubble, and just kick it. Have a nice one. See you guys in the next video. Enjoy yourselves.